In the 1980s, BBC comedy show Not the 9 O'Clock News aired a skit making fun of the stereotypes that darts players were all unhealthy and overweight and smoke and drunk alcohol during games. That skit was one of the most famous works of comedian Mel Smith, and it featured a game between characters called Di Fat Belly Gut Bucket and Tommy Even Fatter Belly Belcher, with the main joke being that instead of throwing at doubles, they were downing double shot drinks. The sketch is blamed by many for damaging the public image of darts at the time by reducing it to a laughingstock. Eric Bristow said that he felt it didn't do the sport any favours, especially with those who controlled the TV channels. Darts historian Patrick Chaplin even went as far as saying that the skit indelibly seared the fat belly image of darts players into the minds of the nation forever. Even 40 years later, the stereotype of all darts players being overweight is still around, with various reasons, such as pub culture, being given by those attempting to explain why. In 2015, ESPN blogger Simon Barnes wrote that darts had been the subject of mockery since it was first televised due to the fact that the players do not look like finely tuned athletes, but instead overweight, flabbily unfit, pasty-faced, and with big bellies supported by a big frame. He included another quote from Bristow, who famously said that you can take darts out of the pub, but not the pub out of darts. The article even went as far as saying that the stereotypical body shape of darts players is suited to the sport, saying that it's the optimum shape of the task due to the stability that it provides. In the early stages of Phil the Power Taylor's domination, whilst not being one of the largest players, he certainly fit the mould of what many feel pro darts players look like. In one of his books, Phil wrote that he hates the common perception of darts players and was always conscious of his weight despite the fact he wore XXL shirts at times. He explained how, as a teenager, he was teased about his weight at school, which prompted him to begin weight training. He also said that, in 2001, around the time the previous image was taken, he began to go to the gym daily with his wife, helping him to lose 5 stone. At that time, he began to care more about his appearance, as he also dyed his hair blonde and played wearing an earring. These photos were taken during the 2003 World Championship final, in which he was beaten in a deciding set by John Part of Canada, shockingly ending his run of 8 straight Circus Tavern titles, which included the one he won 2 years earlier with a whitewash win over Part in the final, which saw the Canadian pick up just 3 legs. Following the 2003 loss, in which Taylor still averaged just under a ton, a Guardian article was written saying that Taylor may have regretted losing the weight, as despite helping to improve his and the game's public image, it did not help his darts. It said that there were rumours throughout the week that the weight loss was having an adverse effect on his form, with legendary commentator Sid Waddell saying that the muscle loss had affected his balance, causing him to often throw up to half an inch below the treble 20. Taylor disagreed with that and said that his loss of form had been due to him having a tough year. Phil then put some of the weight back on over the following year before he managed to beat Kevin Painter in a deciding set in the 2004 World Final to reclaim the title. A Guardian article even linked his weight increase to the win. Over the following few years, Phil's weight fluctuated, but his dominance was undoubtable. After being crowned world champion for a 14th time in 2009, Phil visited the Scottish Shetland Islands, where he faced Gary Anderson in an exhibition match that's been described on social media as one of the best exhibitions ever. A year later, Phil returned to the island for an exhibition tournament known as the Shetland Masters, which he managed to win in front of over 1,400 fans. In that event, Phil averaged 111, 117 and 108, and in his game against Mark Webster, he managed to hit a 9-darter to the delight of the Shetland crowd. Phil returned to Shetland a year later for the second Shetland Masters, where, in front of a crowd of 750, he beat then world champion Adrian Lewis 13-3 in the final to retain the title. In early 2012, it was confirmed that the third Shetland Masters would be held in July of that year, featuring 2-time champ Taylor and 7 other pros, including Raymond van Barneveld, who would be featuring in the event for the first time. In the announcement article, it was said that Barney was a clear favourite of the Scottish crowd and sure to get a great reception. Phil began his defence of the exhibition title with a 10-2 win over debutant Paul Nicholson, setting up a tie between the Power and Barney, which always brought back memories of their 2007 World Championship final epic. But what happened at the 2012 exhibition was a dark day for Taylor. In his game against Barney, which came after a long break and was the biggest match of the night, he managed to take a 7-5 lead before Barney won 4 straight legs to go 9-7 up, to the delight of the crowd who was supporting the Dutchman. In a controversial moment, Phil then threw his first start of the 17th leg before shaking Barney's hand, waving at the crowd, walking off of the stage and leaving the building, all before the game was over. Barney reportedly looked shocked and the crowd were unhappy, especially after Ross Bray declared Barney as the winner by default. The event MC then came onto the stage and said that Taylor quit as he was unhappy with members of the crowd who were swearing at him, which one of the markers backed up. Despite the game stopping at 9-7, Barney was awarded an 11-7 win and he went on to win the title to the delight of the crowd, beating Simon Whitlock in the final. According to a fan, Barney called out Phil's poor sportsmanship at the event in front of the crowd. Eventually, it came out in the media that Phil, who was trying to lose weight at the time, had stormed off after drunk spectators called him fat. Taylor said that he wanted fans to come to the events and enjoy themselves, but that personal abuse was too far. He added that some of the comments had upset him, leading to him to apologise to the majority of fans before leaving the stage. A fan told The Sun that Taylor was getting dogs abuse from the fans who wanted Barney to win, and after one particular comment, Phil had walked off. The abuse was described as terrible, with the fans being obviously drunk. The Shetland exhibition did return in the following year, but Taylor wasn't in the field for the first time, likely due to the abuse. The incident was credited with giving Phil the motivation to lose more weight, which he eventually managed to do, losing 7 stone on a TV show where he was coached by trainer Laura Church. Taylor and Church reportedly grew very close and were even rumoured to be dating at a time. The weight loss helped Phil to feel fitter and sharper, helping him to win his 16th and final World Championship at the start of 2013, extending his record to a mark which will likely never be beaten. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe, as currently less than 17% of you are. Also, hit the bell icon to turn on notifications so that you don't miss any of my brand new videos, and leave a like as it really helps the channel out. In the comment section down below, let me know what you think about Phil walking off at the exhibition.